For us, it's quite an important initiative because one thing I've always found when people talk about sustainability, they're not really able to measure, one, where they're at, and two, any progress. And I think with sustainable Australian wine growing, there's now a platform from where we can measure our performance. And also, if we're looking to make improvements, we're able to track those improvements as well, which I think is quite important.
Yeah, I definitely think that the soil program has given the region the ability to shine. It's really pleasing to see other regions coming to us now and saying, hey, we've heard what you're doing and we're seeing what you're doing. What can you tell us and what can you help us with? And that's been the same in the region, you know, with various growers and coming to us and saying, well, you know, this looks good and we want to be a part of it, we want to strengthen what we're doing.
In Australia isn't without its challenges, and we've got economic challenges and environmental challenges with climate, and things are getting hotter and drier, and so look, our focus is really on managing our soil and building resilience in our system, and we believe once we have resilience in our soils, that'll weather the storm a lot with any other challenges that are thrown at us.
So one of the great outcomes of the soil program is that we now have a sustainable and well understood underground water use. We also have using reclaimed water that represents a bit over 60% of the region. We've reduced our outflows of reclaimed water to the Gulf. That has an environmental impact on the seagrasses. So by reducing our underground water and using an alternative water source like reclaimed water, we have a much better source of water moving into the future that has benefits both for the marine environment and also for farming in the region.
The regional benchmarking has been a bit of an eye-opener, I think. It's certainly helped us out with looking at things like tractor passes and how we can improve. We've got a very difficult property to manage here. It's very steep. We don't have the ability to use multi-row equipment all the time, so we've had to look closely at doing things like using an ATV and adjusting the practices that we do around the vineyard. But certainly reviewing those practices and looking at what everyone else is doing has really made us reconsider the way we approach things.
Yeah, so economically there's loads of initiatives just and looking at what we do and making sure what we're doing for the right reasons and not overdoing it or underdoing it. And an example of that is our irrigation management. We make our own compost from our grape mart from the winery, and that is a huge part of our farm here. And by putting on compost, we're building that resilience in the soil, and we're needing to we irrigate it with a different strategy because we can retain moisture in a different way. The way we manage our weeds under our vines as well, we make sure we're harvesting water in winter when we can, and then we're storing it there with using compost and organic matter. When it comes down to irrigating in the growing season, we're heavily involved in irrigation monitoring and looking at what's happening under the soil as well as what's happening with the weather and what our vines are doing. And all these things add up to produce a more efficient irrigation program, and as a result we're using far less electricity with our pumping, we're irrigating at the right times, we're irrigating the right amounts, we're not wasting water, and all that has really tangible economic benefits and results in a better quality product at the end of the day.
The big benefits of this program at a regional level for me have just been the local interactions, the feedback that we can get, having a platform to put forward our ideas, attending workshops, seminars, just really getting hold of knowledge and local knowledge. The Crop Watch service has been invaluable. We use that regularly for our pest and disease programs and just for keeping an eye on what's going on around the district. But I think it's just a really good source of local information. It's been
a very beneficial program when we start talking to consumers and wine drinkers generally about what we're doing at a community level to have a better understanding of the environment and lessen our impacts upon the land.
Those workshops just can't be beaten, and it's all about the community, and that's why it started in McLaren Vale, I guess, because it's a community thing. So yeah, I think workshops would be the #1 thing on my list. Yeah.
Great, excellent.